Okay. Hello, Ponies of the Net. I'm Countess Rose, and welcome to Two Mares Review, where we review anything from fanfiction to character design. I'm here with my co-host Fire Scales.
Howdy, howdy.
And this week we will be reviewing characters again. So we have done a coin toss before we started, and I won again. Yay. Okay, so if you want to bring up my first OC, this is Ceres. She is a Draconequus. Yay. Okay. She is female. Her occupation is a student. Her talent is nature magic. Being a Draconequus, Ceres is expected to be a chaos freak with aspirations of turning the world upside down. But as expected, she's just not interested in all that. Sure, prank or two, but everything feels more wrong. In order to prove herself, she enrolls in Princess Celestia's School for Wayward Monsters. This also is a AU. She hopes after she graduates that will be a way to prove that she is a good guy and not a threat. Her personality is nurturing, protective, caring, and flirtatious. She likes gardening, pranks, ponies, birds, poisonous plant species. Interesting. And dislikes chaos, pollution, and big cities. Few fun facts. She's not much as a fighter, but she's pretty defensive. Earth ponies apparently fascinate her. She loves kettle corn and not fond of excessive chaos. Not really much of a backstory on her. More of she's just
it's like a bullet list.
Yeah, a bullet list of a character, which is enough to possibly go on for if she was used in a fan fiction. I think she's a pretty decent character. She would be rather interesting to learn more about, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested in what relationship she has with Discord, if he does exist in this AU, which I'm going to assume that he does.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think he does.
And what the School of Wayward Monsters reminds me of, like, Monsters Incorporated and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. It kind of actually makes me think of, like, a ponified version of Monster High.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay. So we have...
I found it interesting that she likes the more poisonous plants.
Mm-hmm.
That seems that kind of fits in her.
Like,
at least her species. It's kind of chaotic and kind of weird.
Yeah. Like, I have a feeling she probably uses poisonous plants. Can I speak tonight?
None of us can.
She probably uses poisonous plants as a factor in her harmless pranks. Because she doesn't like to hurt people. She just wants to, like, pull a funny haha prank. I can kind of see her getting along with the Weasley twins from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and fun fact I found out while doing a little bit of Googling, she's actually named after a goddess. Ceres in Roman mythology was the goddess of agriculture, grain crops, fertility, and motherly relationships. So she was Demeter.
Okay.
And seeing that she is a spirit of nature, as her little undertitle calls her, that's very fitting.
Okay. Yeah, that's very fitting.
Mm-hmm. Just a little fun fact I dug up while digging. So, I think we can move on to aesthetics.
Yeah, let's do it.
The fun part. Okay, so do you want to start this part off?
Yeah, I think she's has an adorable air to her. I personally think she's better designed than Discord is.
Yes, you do not like Discord's design.
I cannot stand his design. I upchucked a little bit when I first saw Discord for the first time. Not knowing what franchise he's from, and when I found out he was for MLP, I was just like, how did that get past the board?
Yeah. Her different parts actually flow better in a cohesive way, better than Discord, because he has just things pretty much copy and pasted. Well, not exactly copied, but pretty much just pasted on him, and they aren't really integrated into his body all that well. But I think that's a limit of the medium they chose to animate in. But anyway.
Well, I think what works for this is that the color works. It's like a overall similar color scheme.
Yeah, she's very earth-toned overall.
Because, like, Discord he's yellow, brown, blue, red.
Yeah.
Literally all over the place. And she's at least in one spectrum.
Yeah. Well, judging from the color picker we have of her, she also has a lot of colors on her.
Oh, yeah, she does.
Oh, my goodness. But, yeah, it's pretty cohesive color palette.
One critique I have of this is pure white.
It is?
Yep.
Oh, Photoshop does not lie.
Photoshop.
Okay. So, that...
When in my color picker, it is white.
Mm-hmm. So, like, maybe just like a hair down, like anything just like pure white, anything from just pure white would be okay.
This is where I'm saying I need to rasterize this picture. It seems interesting. Okay, book it. But yeah, white and kind of an offish white, maybe a little bit higher than that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There you go. Not quite so white.
Mm-hmm. It's just little things. It makes things a little bit easier, especially if you're going in and you want to add highlights or shadows. You can't really go much wider than white if you want to do highlights.
Yeah.
Of course, that can also be a aesthetic choice. I have a couple critiques, but it's like mainly, personally, the one thing that bugs me about this character is the color of her, whites of her eyes, which are actually this, kind of pinkish red color.
It makes her look like she's sickly.
Well, like, I personally thought, high, but yeah, let's go with sickly. Because, I saw that and I was like, bloodshot eyes, what the heck?
Yeah, I personally would just probably go to just natural white.
Like, maybe not natural white, because, like, I understand what she was trying to go for, because, like, Discord doesn't have white eyes. He has, yellow eyes with red pupils. So she's probably going for the contrasty with the green eyes and then, like, something along the pink tones. But, like, I think maybe you went, like, a little bit closer to, a whiter pink. Because, like, that color choice right there is just a little bit too close to red.
Yeah,
and also, if you go a little bit lighter in the color, it would also make her green eyes pop a bit more.
I agree with that.
And also, on this headshot up here, this is bugging me, but, like, where her hair is parting, it, like, juts up and it comes straight down. I kind of mistook that for, like, a horn at first.
Oh, you mean, like, right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that does look a little weird.
It's just, like, a little section of the drawing that was just, like, not reading properly for me. Because, like, her horn starts there, and...
I mean, normally the hair would be, like, probably would just do something like that.
Yeah. And it would read better as a hair part than just... Yeah. Because in her side views, it seems to have a more flowy down. Like, it doesn't jut up and then come back down all that much.
It has a nice bounce.
It's not bounce, but it's very soft, and I like it.
Yep, great character.
Yeah, she's very pretty. I don't really see all that many Draconequuses that I think are pretty.
They probably weren't really made to be pretty.
True, they weren't, but still. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder, and I think she's very lovely. Okay, so... do you want to move on to your OC?
Oh, yes, of course. I have brought on Jupiter Ballard, and I really like this OC. So, he has a lot. I'll try and just put it into a nutshell. Obviously, male unicorn, cutie mark feather pen with swirl of gold ink and some sparkles.
Mm-hmm.
A secret hobby, writing lovely romantic poetry. And he's basically, he's kind of like I kind of see him as a star-scrolled Viridid because he's a revered unicorn. He's a unicorn of legend, to the point where he's sometimes mentioned in lore as a alicorn, which is why he's kind of been forgotten because people didn't, like, the unicorns stopped associating themselves with him. Nobody's sure how old he is, and they believe some sort of strong magic is what's keeping him alive, and he he has locked himself away with his library, protecting his precious tomes and books that he's written about Equestria overall. Long time ago, he was hired by young Alicorns to go out and to write, basically to be kind of an explorer.
Mm-hmm.
To write down what he sees and what his thoughts are and whatnot. And when he started to keep personal notes of his travels, that's how he got his cutie mark. And he was given a library by these great Alicorns. And he realized that some ponies were trying to steal his works, and so he hid his library away so that way they wouldn't fall into the wrong hooves. And basically, he kind of sealed himself away. He could trade information for new books, since he's been stuck there for basically all eternities. It surely can get kind of boring in there. And that's basically it. What I like about his character on his page is they actually list some books and scrolls that have been stolen, and so it says 8 books and 2 scrolls have been stolen, and they are lowland herbs, weather functions, building plans of the Eastern City, astrological charts, autumn, secrets of cutie marks, early Alicorns, 3rd Equestrian Almanac. Ceremonies of the East, naming of families, and earth ponies.
I would like to read a couple of these.
Yeah, and that's basically it. He's basically an ancient librarian who guards his works because he's learned too much, and so now he's guarding what he's learned and written.
He kind of reminds me of the owl from The Last Airbender.
Yes.
Oh, I love that owl. Although he's a little bit on the cuckoo crazy side.
Oh yeah. Thankfully, Jupiter is not. And I like how simple his character is.
Mm-hmm.
Simple backstory, gives delicious some detail in terms of what he does and what's so important about these writings that he's written.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of wish I learned a little bit more about his cutie mark story, like what exactly transpired that fateful day.
Yeah, a short story would be very much appreciated.
Yeah, something simple. What made him take out a pad and start writing down everything that he learned and everything that he saw.
Mm-hmm.
That made the stars align and have a butt tattoo appear on.
Yes.
But other than that, that's pretty much my only really critique story-wise.
Mm-hmm. I don't really have any critiques story-wise. I find he's very well-rounded. I would love to know more about him, or just have a fan fiction where I can just read, because he seems like a very interesting pony. So I think aesthetics would be a good place to continue. Radioactive Grass, I love how you draw manes.
It looks very Art Nouveau.
Yeah, because she was the same one who did a character I brought on a couple times ago. I think, that was actually for our first episode. Briar Thorn, I believe her name was.
Yes.
Yeah, Briar Thorn. She was done by the same person. I love her ponies.
I really like, he has a billowing mane and tail, but yet it's, simple colors.
Mm-hmm.
It's simple colors, so that way he can have a very intricate kind of design, because he looks like he has, it kind of looks like he has some braiding or whatnot right here.
Mm-hmm.
And so the fact that it's all simple earthy tones kind of makes it to where he's allowed to have that.
Yes. I really like the design of his cloak. It kind of reminds me of scholar robes a little bit.
Yes.
Like the highish collar and then being held together. I like his necklace. That's really pretty.
Nice clasp.
Mm-hmm.
Class.
Yeah, gives a little bit of color, because again, he's very monotoned. And that pop of color in his accessories, it ties into the little bit of gold in his cutie mark, and I think that's a very nice touch. As well as the gold in his eyes.
Yeah, his eyes stand out very well. I like how they normally I don't like ponies that have their with facial hair and whatnot. It's very difficult to pull off, and I think this one works very well.
You've been finding a lot of ponies with good facial hair.
Oh yeah, it's hard to do. The one small critique I have is I think this cutie mark's a little over-designed. Because when it's shrink down to that...
Yeah, Capcom's a little bit blurred.
I mean, I think just, like, maybe make the...
4, 5, 6... It's 6 colors.
A lot of colors.
Yeah.
Like, maybe, because this is supposed to be, like, golden ink or something like that. Did you read it as golden ink?
I kind of... When I just look at it, it kind of looks like a little tiny worm scrolling up and going, hi. Because, like, the white light is like an eye, and then it's like a little... Kind of reminds me of a snake, but I can see ink.
Yeah, because I like the idea of it, drawing, but I'm not exactly sure what this is supposed to be.
Well, like, if it continued the same shape as the dark gold, maybe, instead of it being rounded out by the secondary color, it might read better as a pen stroke. And it might also help with the clustery look of the OC, like taking out those 2 different colors and just like leaving it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Mainly, I think colors just need to be taken out. My personal opinion.
Yes. I had a little bit of critique of how he was presented. The dark brown color that he's on, his mane and tail kind of get lost a little bit in the background color. So he kind of morphs into the background his background, and then he pops out with the golds and his eyes, and then the pops of the lighter colors in his mane.
What would you suggest?
Just slightly changing the background color to maybe try doing a slightly darker color than it is now. Yeah, I think that helps.
You can see his mane a lot better.
So, again, this is...
Particularly that part.
Yeah, that's where he's really fading in. This is, of course, very nitpicky with the presentation. The OC, I have very little qualms with it, if any. If anything, his book is kind of... The cover of the book that he's holding is a little bit over-designed and kind of gets... Accessories kind of get a little bit lost in it because it's gold on gold and then all the swirly designs. But he's very stoic and he looks like he's like, you do not want to mess with this librarian.
Yep. You will stay silent in this library.
Yes.
And that's all they have on Jupiter.
Yep, and I bet you're happy you finally got to talk about this OC.
Yay!
Okay. So next we have Doodle Cloud.
Do-do-do-do! Okay, press to write it down.
Her. Yeah, this one's a her.
A her? Okay.
Yeah, it's a her. Okay.
Alright.
So this is Doodle Cloud. She is 19. Doodle Cloud is... She's friendly to those who are nice to her and like to converse with others. She's an introvert. She tends to ignore things that bother her, which can have some negative effects. She also has an almost stubborn streak. She has a couple of nicknames. She mainly goes by DC, but can also go by Cloud or Doodle. She uses dark magic, but only in cases she needs to defend herself against something she normally can't disarm on her own, and has a couple side effects has affected her. She likes drawing, running, playing with friends and magic, goofing off in procrastination, video games, crude jokes between friends, and horrible puns, searching for random spells to learn, books, her room, comics, monsters, and small animals. She dislikes people who judge too quickly, strong rays of light, bullies, being outside, doing her hair. People finding out she uses dark magic, and mornings. Her talents are dark magic, summoning her drawings, drawing in general, and drawing monsters. Her fear is her magic backfiring, not being good enough, and feeling she is at a dead end. Failing, and large spiders. Cloud was born and partially raised in Philadelphia. Her mother being a well-trained nurse, Doodle learned a lot about medicine and other things. As a little filly, she dreamed about being a vet and helping other creatures, always drawing little animals on her work as she read books on animals and whatnot. She would play with people when the option was open, but her mother's hovering nature prevented her from going out to play with her friends, leaving the filly to play by herself, which led to her playing with magic, reading, and drawing. Doodle also found herself on the outside of groups when she got into school, and sometimes being sick, not being able to join the fillies play outside. Her skills progressed as she read, played, and of course doodled. Her cue mark came after she went to her mom's job at the local hospital. She met plenty of people, but an old unicorn offered her a book after she caught Doodle trying to show her mom a drawing she did that the parent didn't care for. She stayed with the lady for a short while before Mom called to scold her for talking to strangers. Regardless, DC kept the book. Her mother, thinking nothing of it, came... Lost my place. It was a spell book, and the spell DC came to use was one that allowed her to summon her art temporarily to her aid to ebb her loneliness and, of course, amusement. Taking some of her drawings, she tried the spell, not realizing what it would do to her over time as she got better slowly. Her mom moved to Canterlot for a better job. The mare slowly became more stressed and grades failing as a result. To escape the stress, she came to doodle almost completely like an addiction. She was a bit of a black sheep, coming from a different area, not having many friends to keep from feeling too lonely. Bullies didn't help, and teachers were against her drawing so much. She didn't care, not letting up for a second from her practice. She used her spells less for a while, and she tried to fill a book and tried to find herself. Her family finding out about dark magic when DC would use it in public to fight off a group of mares and colts wanted to pick a fight with a freak. Being caught, she didn't stick around for long, running away and catching a train. She may have overreacted and running away, but her family did have a problem with dark magic. She rode it all the way to Baltimore and got off. She does all jobs for the most part, trying to get herself out there for the world so she can live doing what she wants, but her life as an artist is hard. Thoughts?
That was a mouthful.
Yes, it was. Okay, so when I was first reading this, I didn't connect that the magic she was using to bring her drawings to life was considered technically dark magic, and it kind of confused me for a small part. Her reasoning behind running away, even though it is stated that it was probably an overreaction, I feel like it probably could have been expanded a little bit more on.
I felt like, because it said that she was an introvert, but she liked talking and showing off like her skills or whatnot.
I'm like, I don't really think she was showing off. She was mainly just trying to get her mom to see the picture. And that's when the old mayor started talking to her.
Let me see. Well, it says, like, she's friendly to those who are nice to her and likes to converse, but then it says she's an introvert. And they just kind of seem to clash. Those seem to really clash, at least in my personal opinion.
Well, there's different levels of introversy. And just because you're an introvert doesn't mean you don't like to talk to people. It's just like, mainly you need to have your own free time to recharge.
That's basically me, so.
Yeah.
Why did her mother let her have a book from somebody?
Apparently she didn't pay attention to what her kid was reading.
Apparently.
Well, there's actually a note in here saying, come on, how often do parents read the books their kids pick up?
A lot.
Very often, yes.
I talk to my sisters-in-law. The books their kids get into or have been mama approved.
My mom mainly just let me read whatever. Then again, trying to keep me away from books was like a near impossible task.
Wait, how did she get her cutie mark exactly? She went to visit her mom at the hospital.
We don't have a cutie mark story.
Not really. It's just like was talking to the old pony her getting her cutie mark story, or
it's never stated when in time she got her cutie mark.
Because I'm like, if she's an artist, well, why would she go get her cutie mark at the hospital?
She was probably just waiting for her mom to get off shift, because her mom was a nurse.
It just doesn't quite make sense.
Although my question is, because like, if there's a note in here saying that she originally wanted to become a vet, and There's no mention of her saying, oh, I kind of want to do art more than I want to be a vet.
There's no conflict?
Well, like, there's no shift in perspective.
I didn't even know that was an interest of hers.
It's just like a little tiny, I'm trying to find exactly where it is. Oh, yep, right there. As a little filly, she dreamed about being a vet and helping other creatures. One little sentence, and there's no turnabout for that.
That would be nice to expand upon a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Overall, I think the story's decent. The flow of it could be worked a little bit better, but the same fact, she's very strongly a pony sona mixed with an OC, kind of. I think it just needs a little bit of tweaking to, like, fill in some confusion and a couple minor plot holes. Okay, so let's move on to aesthetics. I actually kind of really like her color scheme.
I do too. A nice charcoal with a nice purple.
Purplish pink. And I love how she was drawn. She's very pretty. And I just love how she has pencils just stuck in her hair.
Yeah. It's weird. Her mane and tail kind of don't seem to match a little bit because her tail like has poof, but it has length. Her mane looks like it's, like a fro. It doesn't look like it has any length, and so especially when it curves along the neck so closely, it looks like a totally different style altogether.
I think it actually works pretty well. Because it's not an actual fro, it actually does follow the curve of her neck pretty closely, and there's a little bit of flow to it. I think that the translation to the tail works pretty well.
And I'll say it, I don't like the cutie mark.
Yeah. Ow.
Ponies out there, as you know, Countess and I don't really like it when people try to get other fandoms into the pony universe.
I think this is new information for everyone else because we were discussing this earlier.
Yeah.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is a Pokeball. In fact, I have very little experience with Pokemon besides the anime. Fire Skills, you want to take this one?
Sure, that is a Dusk Ball. Dusk Balls, now that I think about it, now that I know her story, the Dusk Ball itself kind of makes sense because Dusk Balls work best at night or at caves. And when they open, they kind of release kind of like a purplish energy to capture the Pokemon within. That's basically it.
Yeah.
Why a Pokeball of all things? If you love Pokemon, that's great, but it doesn't need to be on your OC.
Especially seeing that Pokemon aren't really a thing. Maybe you made the correlation because she likes animals, but that wasn't really pulled through all the way through the story. She mainly just likes drawing monsters at this point, according to her likes and talents.
I mean, I kind of get it. It could be her calling upon her drawing powers or something like that. Because it says that she can call upon her drawings to come alive and defend her and whatnot, but something besides a Pokeball.
Yeah, and I know this is the color scheme for the Dusk Ball, as it's called, but it blends into her coat color a bit too well, and you kind of lose it.
When also the green and the red kind of just come from nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, I think make a cutie mark that incorporates her eye color a little bit.
Yeah, because she has a really nice orangish bronze color.
I like the eye color. It pops very well.
It's a nice contrast to the pinkish tones she has.
So, overall my thoughts, the design is pretty good. Try again with the cutie mark.
Yeah.
Try again.
And all I must say about this artist, you have come a long way with your drawing skills, because I originally found your old reference sheet for this character, and then just by chance I stumbled across your newest one, and your drawing skills have greatly improved. Congratulations.
Well, I think I found it. Yes, very nice.
Yeah, we'll put it on the screen for reference.
Alright, I guess it's me time.
It is your turn again, Fire Scales. Have at it.
Alright, I brought on the sci-fi. Name sci-fi, age is for some odd reason classified. She is a hybrid of an alicorn and a Gallifreyan. Accessories, as we can see, some sort of weird watch, and some armor that doesn't quite make sense. Special talent, publicly writing sci-fi stories, real extraterrestrial languages. Job is classified. Family is the family. According to her stories, they're kind of more, I'm guessing, somewhat parents, somewhat adoptive in a way. Armada Strigoi and Dr. Hooves. Personality, she's joyful, distant, logical. Doesn't care about winning as long as she has fun, though enjoys a little competition from time to time. Likes brushing her long, flowy mane. Is just really proud of it, but doesn't like to brag about it. She can be serious when needed, very loyal to her friends and to the organization. But she hates being wrong and tends to want everything under control. So she's kind of OCD in a way. She's a neat freak and somewhat short-tempered. Her story is, for as long as she can remember, she always lived in the organization's quarters, and they kept her from really knowing the outside world. She wasn't really good at flying, but loved reading. She has lots of books, most of them were science fiction, and became quite in love with the genre. She watched the movies, started collections, and she was a total fan. She lived like an intern, not being an agent or anything, but her life took an interesting turn when one day a brown earth pony gave her a watch, saying to keep it as a charm. Just keep this, just as a charm. For some reason, the organization then asked her to become an agent out of the blue, under the cover of being a writer. That day, she had to train hard to protect the Earth from otherworldly beings. And then when she heard about a contest for young writers, she decided to jump on the occasion and present her own novel. She basically won, and that's when she got her cutie mark, and she knew it was her destiny to live by her passion. And that's when she was asked, truth is, she gained her cutie mark when learning about extraterrestrial languages back in training. Mm-hmm. She was really good at it and gained her cutie mark by passing her final exam with stunning success. She's kind of like C-3PO with knowing 6 million languages. I interjected in myself, just so you know. She was sent to Canterlot when she was 16, and then to other places that are in this AU, by the way, where she met her roommates, Blue Ashes and Hapax Legomenon. She is.
That's a tongue twister.
I know. Blue Ashes gave her the armor because they looked cool. And Hapax became her best friend, but then they kind of grew apart a little bit. They're still friends, but they not quite as close as they used to be. Now she's a pretty well-known writer, fights for world safety with her team, and has been sent back to Equestria. And then there's other info, but that's kind of side point stuff. We mainly just want the main story. Countess, why don't you start us off here?
I'm so confused.
I am too.
Okay. This comes back to us mixing fandoms.
Yes.
Doctor Who.
No, Doctor Who.
Oh, the Doctor. Okay.
One thing that I like that Friendship is Magic does is, yes, they have a quote-unquote supposed Doctor Who's, but he's still his own character. He is a My Little Pony.
He fits in the world! This thing would stand out like the changeling at the Cranky Matilda's wedding.
Yes. It's like he is still a My Little Pony. He is not a Doctor Who in My Little Pony.
Yeah.
And that's partially what bugs me here, is just it's
okay.
No Doctor Who.
Okay, her species. Alicorn, Gallifreyan, hybrid, even though down here in the extra notes, they aren't Dr. Hooves and whoever this other person is, who we have no reference of. Mm-hmm. Correct? You didn't find one?
I don't think so.
Okay. As far as we know, we don't have a reference of. Aren't her real parents, but she just magicked into the TARDIS, and apparently that merged their DNA with her.
Kind of, yeah.
What if this could only exist in one point in time?
I don't know. That's probably why I try to keep it out, because it's so confusing. confusing.
If she's stuck in a pocket dimension, then how does that compute?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Her Cutie Mark story was, like, did they brainwash her or something like that, making her think that she got her cutie marks in a writing contest? Because she's like, oh yeah, I won the contest. Look, my cutie mark came. Actually, you've had that for 2 years, actually, and you got that when you passed training.
Okay. And while we're on the subject of a cutie mark, it's Gallifreyan. Why is her cutie mark Gallifreyan for TARDIS?
When she's born there and then it never speaks of it again.
I'm so confused.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think her personality kind of contradicts, because it's like she has bold traits, but then it kind of counters it, so that way she doesn't look like a
Brash character?
Yes. It's almost like the person can't decide if she wants this character to be really strong or kind of a wallflower or something like that. And again, I felt kind of sucker punched with the Cutie Mark story. I actually got very confused.
Why is she part Alicorn? How? Why? Was her actual mother an Alicorn? Or is this more of this magic-y, TARDIS-y thingamajig?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the... Okay. There's a lot of holes.
Very much so.
A lot of holes that are unintentionally put there, and then a lot that are intentionally put there because of the classified stuff.
Which I don't understand why her age needs to be classified. Is she sensitive about that or something?
I have no idea.
Well, and also, her cutie, she's supposed to be, a member of this organization that, first off, what does this organization do?
I don't know, but there is a Doctor Who spin-off called Torchwood.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to think that might be a reference to that, but seeing that I haven't actually watched that show, I don't know. I'm making assumptions here.
Because, it says, the organization asked her to be an agent and put her under the cover of being a writer, and she trained hard to protect the Earth from otherworldly beings, but yet her supposed talent is just translating languages. Her cutie mark doesn't exactly seem to match her purpose.
Well, it can kind of match because it is a different language. It is another word in Gallifreyan. But TARDIS doesn't really match a language thing. In fact, a TARDIS is a spaceship and time machine. That has nothing to do with languages, really. It's like maybe if it's Gallifreyan for writer or something. But then again, that is a very bland cutie mark. And when you get into more complex words with Gallifreyan, you get more circles, more tiny lines and dots, and it'll be very hard to make it out on a pony's butt.
How about that nice segue into aesthetics?
Okay, sweetheart, you need to learn how armor works.
Yeah, the shoes, I don't care.
The shoes are fine, but that wing brace pretty much impedes her ability to fly, even if she's not a good flyer. That would just make it harder.
It's basically it would basically lock her in that position. And also, if you look at the Royal Guards from Equestria, the Pegasi, they don't have armor on them. So it's because so they can fly, and if you weigh down the wings, it's going to make it harder to fly because there's weight on the wings themselves.
Mm-hmm. Because that is right where the wing bends, and when it spreads out, you can't because it's cupped in that little pocket of metal.
Her mane and tail don't match at all.
Mm-hmm. And my question is, does her hair naturally just stick out like that?
Or is it an ethereal mane?
Even if it was ethereal mane, it would have some effect. It would be affected some way by gravity and be pulled down a little bit.
Even the spacey goo of Luna's hair is governed by gravity.
Yes, it is. And Celestia's Morning Dawn. But I don't understand why she has this long, flowing, sticking out as if she's in a category for hurricane hair, and then her tail is this tiny little bun.
We need some semblance of similarity.
and that is just besides color. Because you have a much wider variant in the gradient in the main. And I don't know if this is personally me, but the way that it flows from a very light purple, almost white, through the spectrum of purple into pink and then back to white.
Thankfully, none of those are pure white.
Thankfully. I think that's just a personal gripe of mine, but it bugs me. Because usually with gradients, they either change to a completely different color and then, or just move from a darker tone. I think it actually works a little bit better.
It's kind of weird because the main looks like it's wanting to be a gradient, but the way it's been painted, it looks like it's trying to be like Celestia's main, which Celestia only has 3 colors.
Mm-hmm. 3 or 4 depending on which section of it is. Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm.
And the fact that she has no pupils makes her look so alien and so weird.
Changeling. Because, again, if she's Gallifreyan, she would look normal.
Yeah, like, if Dr. Hoobs is supposedly, like that, he still looks like an ordinary pony.
Yeah, he does. But as for like the attempted gradient, I think I'm making a huge assumption here, but I'm thinking this was probably because we know this is the base. Because the person was nice enough to credit the original base artist. That is a very good on you.
Yes,
credit.
You get a pat on the head.
Because credit people you use their work from, because that, in other words, it will be stealing. But I'll be willing to bet she probably colored this in Microsoft Paint and just used the brush tool and just did a mock gradient.
It's not a bad thing to ask other artists to do art for you. Because, artists can produce very interesting things sometimes. We can produce something with more character in your character.
I really think we need to do a episode over talking about our opinion on bases.
We can do that.
Okay.
Let's see, what else? Oh, yes. And the fact that she is an alicorn, one thing aesthetically, where is the horn?
Why make her part? Why mention that she's part alicorn if we have no reference to her? If we have no concrete evidence that what her parents are, why mention it? Because does it have any effect on the character that she's part alicorn? See, in fact, she isn't designed with a horn.
But also, she doesn't seem to, kind of, like, act like an alicorn in a way, because every single alicorn that we have in existence is a alicorn of something. One is magic, love, sun, and the moon. What's this person? What's this pony?
Or what was her mother of?
If she was an alicorn. So it's like, you never, the moment you say part alicorn, you need to back it up.
Even if she's only part alicorn, if you mention it, we're gonna be asking questions about that parent. Of course, this is probably just us, but that's still us.
And I think the name's a little lackluster.
Like, hi, my name is Sci-Fi, I write science fiction. Okay.
It's kind of bland and kind of expected in a way.
And I want more explanation on that freaking watch that Dr. Hooves gave us, because why did she... Oh gosh, what was his human name? John Smith's watch? I'm going to just assume that's John Smith's watch.
I have no clue. You're the Doctor Who expert.
I am the Doctor Who expert. I will probably explain this to you later.
Yeah. But yeah, it's,
The color scheme itself is not bad. It's actually very nice. It's all cool tones, and then we have the warmer, hot, pinkish colors in her mane, and then the brighter colors of the armor, which needs to be redesigned.
Yeah, I think overall it's a very good design. I mean, very good color design, very good color theory.
Yeah, her design is pretty basic. I have a curiosity though. If her hair is flowy and ethereal, how does she get it in that one tiny little bun?
That is a very good question. Because I would have a feeling ethereal hair is very, very stubborn.
and hard to get into a single little tiny bun on your butt without the use of magic, which apparently she does not have.
Her story never mentions her using magic, so
Precisely.
yeah, assume she doesn't.
So yeah.
But yeah, that's all I have on sci-fi.
Yay, sci-fi. Needs a little bit of work. Okay. So I believe that is all for us this week. If you have a character or fan fiction you would like for us to review in future, please leave it in the comments below, or you can send it to us through our DeviantArt page at twomaresreview.deviantart.com, or you can email it to us at twomaresreview@gmail.com. Or you can tweet at me on Twitter at Countess M Rose, #2maresreview. So that will be all for this week, and until next time, guys, bye!